Bub, you listen to me.
Hello there, fellow mutants and comic book enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel where we delve into the world of X-Men and beyond. Today, we're diving deep into the enigmatic world of everyone's favorite Cajun charmer, Gambit. Now, if you're a fan of the Raging Cajun like we are, you're in for a treat. We've compiled a list of the top 10 things only real Gambit fans know. So, buckle up as we take a journey through the mysterious life of Remy Beau. Without further ado, let me welcome you to the Sci-Punk feed. Remy Beau, famously known as Gambit, burst onto the scene in 1990 in Uncanny X-Men number 266. Courtesy of Chris Claremont and Jim Lee, his popularity soared, especially after his prominent role in the beloved X-Men the animated series. Gambit's complex relationship with Rogue, another fan favorite, further cemented his status as one of the most iconic X-Men characters. With numerous miniseries and ongoing titles to his name, Gambit stands tall among the X-Men roster. Here's 10 reasons why he's considered the cream of the crop. Let's first understand Gambit's powers. Gambit's powers have seen a few reinterpretations, but the end result remains explosive. Whether he infuses objects with his own energy or triggers the kinetic potential, it always leads to a boom. To expedite the process, he favors cards, easily manipulated and carried in abundance. Yet, his abilities extend beyond mere explosions. Gambit can control the magnitude, from harmless disintegration to imbuing his staff for enhanced impact, akin to super strength. Moreover, his power's nature poses a challenge to telepaths, shrouding his thoughts from detection. And our second one, did you know that Remy is rich? Outside of growing up as the son of the leader of New Orleans' Thieves Guild and LeBeau clan, which made him something of a prince, Gambit amassed a small fortune for himself as a world-renowned super thief. While that hardly justifies dubbing him rich, there is also that time when Gambit went back to 1891 and pulled off a full-off Biff Tannen, sans the whole destroying time thing. After doing his whole hero thing, Gambit put some investments into play, an adventure that may also be responsible for giving Mr. Sinister the ability to shapeshift. Good job there, Remy. Did you know that Gambit didn't always have a middle name? During the 90s, Gambit and Rogue inspired gigabits of fan fiction, none more impactful, better known, or renowned as Laurie McDonald's, the Gestalt arc. In this NSFW tale, Remy Beau received the middle name Etienne. Since then, it's become canon. It's even reflected on Marvel's official website. You're gonna love this one. Gambit has managed to beat the best of the best out there. Gambit's prowess in hand-to-hand combat places him along Marvel's elite, a fact noted even by Colonel Nick Fury. Raised in the NOLA's Assassin Guild, he's a master of savant and incorporates world-class acrobatics into his style. His reflexes are so remarkable that he once outsmarted Iron Man's targeting systems. Gambit's combat record speaks for itself, having bested or held his own against formidable opponents like Blade, Daredevil, Deadpool, Wolverine, Sabretooth, Bishop, Spider-Man, and even the formidable Gladiator of the Shi'ar Empire. And then there's Captain America, but we won't talk about that. Did you know Gambit is the king of thieves? In the closing issues of the James Austin's written solo series, Gambit takes a step beyond simply being a member of the New Orleans Thieves Guild. He becomes the leader of the International Thieves Guild, a centuries-old network of outlaws, spies, and other unsavory types. Probably not the most flattering life for the hero type, but yeah, still rich. And number 6, Gambit's interests extend beyond thievery and combat. He's also a fan of geek culture, particularly enamored with both the Star Trek and Harry Potter franchises. Another interesting fact about Remy is his checkered past. Gambit's past is riddled with shady dealings and entanglements, with notorious figures like Sabretooth, Mr. Sinister, Kandra, and Frenzy. He even played a role in assembling the Marauders, a hit squad responsible for the Morlock Massacre. Additionally, he was once manipulated into becoming one of Apocalypse's horsemen, Death, a chapter of his life he'd rather forget. Not even Batman is safe in the next one. Did you know Gambit stole the Batmobile? Though it may not look like it as of late, Gambit is an accomplished thief. He bypassed Tony Stark's personal security system and stole one of the Iron Man suits. Most recently, he helped himself to Kitty and Colossus's wedding, and at Storm's request, he even stole Phantom X. And yes, during the classic Marvel vs. DC crossover event, he alongside Wolverine jacked the Batmobile. Did you know that Gambit died twice? After sustaining wounds at the hand of extreme X-Men villain Vargas, Gambit's heart stopped in the middle of an operation. Rogue, near death herself, crossed over with Gambit and pulled him back from the gates of heaven in time to be revived. The second time, he just got shot in the head by a gangster named Boy Rakitch. Luckily, Faiza Hussein was present to magically reassemble his head and all its contents. Did you know that Gambit defeated the Dark Phoenix? In an alternate reality, Gambit's powers developed unchecked, leading him to become an X-Men much earlier in the main timeline. With his godlike abilities, he managed to defeat Apocalypse and astonishingly even took down the Dark Phoenix. However, while investigating a prophecy involving him, Gambit actually destroyed the entire planet, leaving himself as the sole survivor.
Remy LeBeau, also known as Gambit, was born into a thief's guild. After he left the guild, he became a secret agent for sinister biologist Nathaniel Essex, who is also known by the ironic nickname Mr. Sinister. After befriending fellow mutant thief Aurora Monroe, he was invited to join the Xmen. That was his opportunity for redemption, and he accepted it. Now for something that isn't well known about the Cajun, Gambit is a natural-born strategist. He has proven to be one of the X-Men's best thinkers during battle. He is almost as good a fighter as Wolverine and is nearly as clever as Beast. Furthermore, he also seems to have a resistance to deceit. It's not a mutant ability per se, he's just really good at sniffing out a lie thanks to being raised by thieves and working with villains like Mr. Sinister and Sabretooth for years. He is fluent in English and Cajun French. According to the official handbook of the Marvel Universe Master Edition Volume 1, number 21, Gambit's guild costume is armored, providing better protection than a normal X-Men uniform. Gambit is a profound fighter, often employing martial arts, street fighting, and acrobatics. He is well adept at the martial arts savate, French kickboxing, and bujutsu. Remy's extreme skills in bujutsu make him dangerously skilled in the use of his bow staff. He's extremely skilled in throwing small objects such as cards, bowlers, knives, and balls with great accuracy. Gambit usually employs throwing spikes and playing cards. He also often uses a telescoping bow staff. In most of his earliest appearances, before ever thinking about throwing cards, Gambit threw metal spikes. It is said that he used to charge them with energy from his eyes instead of his fingers. Remy LeBeau's primary mutant power is molecular acceleration, which is the ability to convert the potential energy stored in an inanimate object into pure kinetic energy. In physics, the potential energy of an object is determined by its position relative to other objects, while kinetic energy comes into play when an object is in motion. When Gambit touches an inanimate object, he can charge it until it explodes. The only limitation to this ability is the time required to charge the object. The larger it is, the more time it takes. This brings me to my next point. The reason Gambit favors cards is that they are small. He can easily stack a large number of cards within his coat, and they take less time to charge than larger objects. The charging takes place through skin contact, with the force of the explosions being dependent on the mass of the object. For example, a charged playing card detonates with the force of a live grenade. He typically can't utilize his powers on living matter or organic molecules. It's said that in the comics, Gambit has two favored cards, the Joker and the Ace of Spades. The Joker is the wild card that can take on any value in a game, suggesting that Gambit is aware of his dual roles as a thief and as an X-Man. And the Ace of Spades has come to be known as the card of death. During the Vietnam War, it was used as a psychological weapon by the American soldiers against the Viet Cong. According to SGM Friedman, the Vietnamese were thought to believe that the spade meant death and ill fortune. In a bid to scare away Viet Cong soldiers and thereby avoid hostilities, it was common practice to litter the forested grounds and fields with the card. This story may, however, be apocryphal. Nevertheless, Gambit's identification with it may be his acknowledgement of his involvement in the Morlock massacre, or simply be a play on the fact that he is using cards as deadly weapons. Gambit's body produces static electricity as a byproduct of his abilities, shielding his mind against even the strongest telepaths. A unique side effect of this shield is that it destabilizes touch-based powers, allowing Remy to touch Rogue temporarily without being hurt. Although no link has been established, Gambit may possess hypnotic qualities due to his kinetic powers. In other words, he has the power to influence others, getting them to agree with his proposals. His charm is said to be so powerful that he could even affect the Shadow King. Remy's hypnotic charm, however, works only on those who are unaware of it, as in strangers. Gambit has a range of abilities at the peak of his strength. At the molecular level, he can control all aspects of kinetic energy. It enables him to shoot energy blasts, fly, heal wounds, charge objects without touching them, and rip living beings apart from the inside out. Gambit can also stop someone from moving by manipulating the kinetic energy in their bodies. Using his full power, he's crossed dimensions, traveled through time, and remade reality with the power of living energy. All of this was displayed during a battle with his counterpart, New Sun. This version of Remy came from an alternate reality where he became powerful enough to defeat the Phoenix and destroyed all life on Earth. New Sun is Gambit as an Omega-level mutant, but our version of Remy defeated his evil self. Afterwards, he had Mr. Sinister reduce his powers so that he would never go down the same path as New Sun. Remy has also served as one of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. The celestial technology in his body turned his hair white and his skin pitch black. In his death state, Gambit can convert objects into toxic substances and transform air into poison gas. He can produce a death charge, which disintegrates enemies or traps them in a playing card. While in this form, Gambit has also corrupted other mutants such as Northstar and Dazzler and made them do his bidding. The Death persona exists as another personality within Gambit's mind. It's been suggested he can switch back and forth at will, but the Death personality has taken over Gambit more than once. Gambit's struggle to contain it has added a new layer to the character. Another unique power that Remy has displayed is the ability to see the future. When he was blinded for a short time, he could predict future events and used his cards for tarot readings. Gambit's power set is as versatile as the man himself. He has proven himself to be one of the best X-Men characters ever. The cleverness behind the writing and character development is one that we can expect from the Marvel Company.
Thanks for tuning in to learn more about the incredible Gambit, from his explosive powers to his checkered past, and even alternate reality feats. There's no denying the depth and intrigue of this beloved X-Men character. What's your favorite Gambit moment or storyline? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on all things X-Men and beyond. Until next time, this has been your host. Let me welcome you to the Sci-Punk feed.